My name's Brandon Wells. Thank you so much for coming. I am the marketing manager for Xbox Games. Today I'm joined by Jorg Neuman. He is the head of production for Microsoft Studios and my boss, director of Xbox Games marketing. And today we're really excited to talk to you about two things that we are passionate about and love very much. Video games and Disney. And today, yes, that's right. Earlier this week, we just celebrated the launch of two great games on Xbox One and Windows 10. Disneyland Adventures and Rush, a Disney Pixar Adventure. And today, we just wanted to invite you to come and have fun with us and really find some awesome experiences that these games bring for people of all ages. So for the next 2.5 hours, we want to make this a fun and informal event. For the first hour, Jorg is actually going to take you through the game. We're going to demo both games for you. And please feel free to ask any questions, take pictures, take video, anything you need. This is just supposed to be a fun, informal, casual event. Around 12:30, we'll break for a catered lunch right here, and you'll also be able to play the game on all the different TVs that you see around you. We'll also be here for interviews and questions and anything else that you might need. And then around 1:30 or so, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but we do have a couple of surprises that are coming at 1:30, and we'll announce that later. Definitely worth waiting for, but without further ado, I will turn the time over to Jorg, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Jorg. This is John.
Hey, good morning.
Couldn't imagine a better place or better audience to celebrate the launch of these two games, so thank you very much. I want to give you a little bit of background. Obviously, we're going to play the games. So the story of these games actually started in 2009 when we at Microsoft made something called Kinect. And we said, hey, you know, this is something that families will enjoy, and we need to make some games that are related to families and that are enjoyable as cooperative experiences. And so I was tasked to come up with concepts. I came up with 4. First I said, hey, we need to work with Disney. The second thing was, I came up with 4. The first one was a pixie dust game, just basically all the fairies. The second one, and I have daughters, and it was purely for them. The second one was a John Carter of Mars game that didn't get made. Damn it! And then 2 more games. Those are the ones you see today. One was called Connect Rush then, and the other one was Connect Disneyland. This one actually started out slightly differently. What it ended up with, it was a Mario Kart game. I don't know if you know what Mario Kart is. It was a straight racing game. And then when we visited Pixar, it was very clear that they said, hey, look, our movies are all about stories and characters, and just making a racing game doesn't make any sense. So we invented something. We sat there with Pete Docter and Roger Gould and said, and John, maybe you want to start, and we said, you know, we need to give it context. It needs to be about stories. It needs to be about characters. So the first thing, and I don't know if you ever played with Kinect, if you have a Kinect camera, it actually will scan you in. Like it sees your clothes, it sees your face, it creates a character for you. Here we now also have a controller version and a mouse keyboard version, so you can make your own characters to your heart's content. John just made some. Here we go. And then the construct was, how do we bring different worlds of Pixar together? That was actually one of the more challenging things. And that's an initial game that we released. We had 5 worlds. And it was, I think it was Pete Docter who said, you know, why don't we just make it a park? A park where people, creative kids, tell each other stories about the worlds of Pixar, what could be, you know, beyond the movies. So he came up with this idea of the Pixar Park, and he had sort of this, hey, look, when we come to work, we're actually dropping off our kids sort of behind the office, and that's what they do in real life. They tell each other stories, and we're like, okay, let's do that. And so here we arrive in the school bus.
Kids are expecting you. Have a great field trip.
And at the very beginning of the game, you're actually arriving alone, and you just run down to the park. And the idea was that you make friends throughout the game. Basically, you experience these worlds of Pixar together, and as you go through it with these other characters and kids in the park, you make more and more friends. So we'll walk you a little bit through this. Here you can see, if John looks around a little bit, we had 5 worlds in the original game. There was Cars, Up, Toy Story, Incredibles, and then Ratatouille. And then for this release, which comes out with Xbox One X now, we added Finding Dory. And John,
Let's jump in, Finding Dory.
Finding Dory, doing that first. So the awesome thing was, the Pixar, when we said, hey, we we really love these games. We would like to bring them back, and not just with Kinect, also with controllers and on a PC. They were really enthusiastic, and then we said, well, we need to add something. And they said, well, nothing has been done with really a bigger game with Finding Dory. So we started writing a story about Finding Dory. And
Any favorites? Squirt?
Squirt.
Squirt. Cool.
Let's go.
So you can see this is brand new. This is, by the way, the game is made in France by a company named Asobo. And I don't know if you play many of the Disney games, but they've been making awesome Disney games for a while. They worked on, they did Ratatouille and Up, and a bunch of other ones, Wall-E. And Pixar loves them because they get the characters. You know, you need to be perfectly, exactly right as like the movies are. And yeah, so everything is, obviously we do comparisons against what the movie looks like, but I think we're almost there now. What's interesting about the game, like when Pixar first started, they invented a whole bunch of things, I'm sure you know. Rendering techniques like subsurface scattering, those types of things. And that was, when the first Toy Story came out, it was brand new, it was never been done before. And as time passed now, we have the exact same techniques in our games. So the games tend to look pretty much exactly like the movies. So John, the concept of the game is that you pick up coins. It's not just a straight basic game. There's a timer, but you also have to pick up coins. And with that, you are getting an overall score. And with that overall score, you get medals, and you unlock new things, like different paths, different characters, different abilities. So there's a lot of replayability in the game.
Can you interact with any of like the jellyfish or any of the other?
Oh yeah, you get stung. John is just too good. John, there we go.
Talk a little bit about the co-op, Jorg.
Yeah, so this game is fully co-op. I could just pick up a controller and would jump in, which is honestly something that I miss in games. I've been making games for 25 years, and somehow we got away from that, playing games with each other on the couch. So I'm super pleased that these are all couch co-op games. And you know, honestly, like specifically in our world, like I have two twin daughters. And they often have the problem, like, what are we going to play tonight, Dad? And there are very few games that you can play together. So these are celebrating Disney, so I think it's just an awesome fit.
How many can play once?
Two. It's really easy to switch in and out.
Wow, look at that. What's your target demographic?
Oh, it's families and younger kids. You know, it's not a super challenging game. Like we have sort of a philosophy of don't fail. You know, it's not that much fun to fail. So you can lose some coins, you get lower scores, but it's really, it starts. When I initially designed some of these games, I thought like 5, 6-year-olds, and then I got a bunch of emails from parents of 3-year-olds. So it was interesting. It actually, it was very heartwarming to see that, because it was their first game in many cases.
Were you able to use the voice talent in the film? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we got really lucky. I don't know if you know the SAG strike. Are you aware of that? Yeah. It literally just ended right before we finished, and we got Ellen DeGeneres' voice in there. Thank God. But otherwise it was a little quiet.
Almost at the end of that.
Yeah, you see it in the others. I mean, for example, Tom Hanks, as you probably know, his brother tends to do his voiceovers when he passes, so we have to put Tom Hanks' brother in there, but it's all 100% authentic. We work with Disney Character and Voice, and they are top-notch, awesome people, and they gave us everything needed for this. It was very, very collaborative. playing a lot. So you can see all the things you can unlock. So different characters with different abilities that allows you to go different ways, and you can basically explore the reef. All right, so that was Finding Dory. I think I would like to show you some other ones, maybe Toy Story or something. All right. So in all, there's 18 worlds, basically. There's six movies, each has basically 3 levels, and you can explore them to your heart's content. They touch on different movies. For example, Toy Story has elements of Toy Story 1 and 2. Cars has elements of Cars 1 and 2. But let's just go over there and maybe go to the playground.
If Toy Story is your thing, that place over there is exactly what you're looking for.
Go Dash. And here you can see one of the kids is about to come.
Hey, howdy, hey. Want more Toy Story? Let me tell you, partner, you came to the right